Hey, welcome to World Code Updates. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. Manila, Philippines, October 2025. The city stirs awake under a golden sunrise, but beneath the calm, a storm brews far out at sea. Tension crackles in the South China Sea, where the waves seem to carry whispers of conflict and uncertainty. Chinese Coast Guard ships encircle a lone Philippine supply vessel at Ayungin Shoal, a flashpoint for conflict that has drawn global attention time and again. The Filipino crew stands their ground, outnumbered and outgunned, as the world watches in suspense, their faces etched with both fear and resolve. Suddenly, a news alert from North Korea's state media stuns everyone, cutting through the tension like a bolt of lightning. Pyongyang condemns hegemonic actions in the region and calls for respect for smaller nations' sovereignty, an unmistakable jab at China, delivered with rare clarity. North Korea, China's oldest ally and a nation known for its secrecy, appears to side with the Philippines, sending shockwaves through diplomatic circles. Analysts scramble to interpret this unprecedented move, debating its meaning and possible consequences late into the night. Is it a mistranslation, a rogue statement, or a calculated play by Kim Jong-un to shift the balance of power in Asia? On the Philippine ship, hope and confusion mix as the crew hears the news, their isolation momentarily pierced by the possibility of unexpected support. In Washington, Beijing, and Manila, the diplomatic calculus shifts instantly. Leaders and diplomats rush to reassess their strategies, aware that the stakes have just been raised. The standoff is no longer just about China and the Philippines. It's a test of alliances that have shaped Asia for decades, and now, new questions are being asked. North Korea's statement challenges everything we thought we knew about the region's power dynamics, forcing experts to reconsider old assumptions. The familiar image of Chinese ships facing down a Filipino vessel now has a new, mysterious player lurking in the background, altering the narrative. Pyongyang's unexpected voice transforms a simple standoff into a complex geopolitical drama, with headlines around the world speculating on what comes next. The world's attention turns not just to the ships, but to the diplomatic intrigue unfolding behind the scenes, where every word and gesture could tip the balance. Old friendships are tested, and new possibilities emerge from the shadows, as leaders weigh the risks and rewards of shifting allegiances. The question now, could help really come from such an improbable source? Or is this just another twist in a region defined by uncertainty? The stage is set for a new chapter in Asian geopolitics, where every move will be watched, and every alliance will be tested as never before. Could North Korea, so dependent on China, really defend the Philippines? The idea sounds like fiction. For decades, China and North Korea have been as close as lips and teeth, bound by war and mutual need. Yet, international relations are rarely simple. Alliances shift, driven by national interest, not loyalty. Pyongyang's statement forces us to look deeper. Is this a real shift, or a strategic move to show independence from Beijing? North Korea may be signaling to the world, and especially the US, that it's not just China's puppet. To understand this, we must explore the tangled history and subtle diplomacy between China, North Korea, and the Philippines. Sometimes, the most surprising alliances are born from necessity, not friendship. The China-North Korea alliance was forged in the crucible of the Korean War, a conflict that shaped the destinies of both nations and set the stage for their enduring partnership. When Mao Zedong's intervention sent hundreds of thousands of Chinese troops across the border, it saved Pyongyang from collapse and changed the course of the war. Their 1961 treaty obligates mutual defense, China's only such pact, a rare commitment that underscores the depth of their strategic ties. For decades, Beijing has shielded North Korea at the United Nations, using its veto power to block harsh measures and protect its neighbor from international isolation. China has also provided crucial economic lifelines, accounting for over 90% of North Korea's trade and supplying vital goods that keep the North Korean economy afloat. This deep economic dependency gives China immense leverage over Pyongyang's decisions and actions, but it also breeds resentment and suspicion in North Korea, which fears becoming too reliant on its powerful neighbor. The relationship isn't always smooth. China's frustration with North Korea's repeated nuclear provocations has led to sanctions, diplomatic tension, and public rebukes. Still, Beijing's bottom line remains unchanged. It will not let North Korea collapse, fearing the prospect of a unified US-allied Korea right on its border. The alliance is both a shield and a shackle, binding the two countries together, but not making their relationship truly unbreakable. Even as China props up Pyongyang, North Korea occasionally asserts its independence, conducting military parades and making bold statements to show it is not a puppet state. The current crisis tests the limits of this historic bond, raising questions about how far each side is willing to go to maintain the alliance. Could North Korea really risk it all and break away from China? Or is their fate still tightly intertwined? Despite its alliance with China, North Korea has sometimes charted its own course. In 1995, during a Spratly Island standoff, Pyongyang backed the Philippines at the non-aligned movement, advocating for international law over China's claims. This wasn't a fluke. The non-aligned movement gave both countries a platform to resist great power dominance. North Korea's Juche ideology, self-reliance, aligns with supporting smaller nations' sovereignty. Pyongyang's support for Manila was a strategic move to show independence and remind Beijing its loyalty isn't unconditional. These moments reveal a pattern. North Korea can separate its alliance with China from its diplomatic stances. Today's events echo this history of subtle defiance. The Philippines and North Korea established formal ties only in 2000, after decades of Cold War distance. Since then, their relationship has been cautious but pragmatic, marked by humanitarian aid, limited trade, and occasional cultural exchanges. Manila has condemned North Korea's weapons tests, but also provided food aid during famines. The relationship is a balancing act, engaging a pariah state while honoring alliances with the US and international law. Unlike South Korea or Japan, the Philippines has no direct conflict with Pyongyang. For North Korea, Manila is a fellow developing nation and a potential partner in resisting superpower dominance. This nuanced history sets the stage for today's unexpected diplomatic twist. International relations are a ruthless game of interests, not friendships. Economic needs, strategic goals, and national identity drive foreign policy. For North Korea, under crushing sanctions, any chance to diversify economic ties, even with Southeast Asia, is valuable. Supporting the Philippines could open doors, reducing reliance on China. Strategically, Pyongyang may see China's assertiveness as a threat to its own autonomy. By backing Manila, North Korea asserts independence and keeps Beijing on its toes. Juche, self-reliance, remains central to North Korea's identity. Supporting a smaller nation against a giant fits this narrative, even if the motives are pragmatic. In global politics, principle and self-interest often walk hand in hand. Why would North Korea risk angering China, its most powerful neighbor and closest ally on the world stage? For Pyongyang, it's a calculated gamble, not a reckless move. Every action is weighed for its potential impact, both regionally and globally. By showing independence, North Korea forces China to value its loyalty, while also signaling to the US and its allies that it cannot be easily controlled or predicted. This unpredictability can be a powerful bargaining chip. This could be a bid for sanctions relief, increased aid, or even diplomatic recognition, moves that would make North Korea a key player in any major regional crisis or negotiation. Some speculate this is a coordinated act with China, creating the illusion of dissent to extract concessions from the West, while both countries quietly maintain their alliance. Or, it could be about domestic propaganda, Kim Jong-un projecting strength and defiance by standing up to a superpower, reinforcing his image as a bold leader. In a totalitarian state, such moves are crucial for reinforcing the regime's grip on power and maintaining unity among the population. The risk is real, and the stakes are high, but so are the potential rewards if the gamble pays off. In Pyongyang's eyes, survival, influence, and continued relevance on the world stage are always worth the gamble, no matter the odds. Global alliances are never permanent. They shift with changing interests and ambitions. The idea of North Korea siding with a US ally like the Philippines against China shows just how fluid geopolitics can be. History is full of shocking realignments, like Nixon's visit to China or the US-Vietnam partnership. Today, nations are both partners and rivals, forced to balance relationships with all major powers. The Philippines and North Korea are playing this game, seeking autonomy amid giants. The only constant is change. Alliances can crack or transform overnight. North Korea's move reminds us to expect the unexpected. In this great game, the next move is always uncertain. The South China Sea standoff, complicated by North Korea's statement, is a lesson in modern geopolitics. The question isn't just whether North Korea would defend the Philippines militarily, but how words and diplomacy can shift the balance of power. This episode shatters assumptions and forces us to question the narratives we're told. Why would a hermit kingdom risk its most vital relationship? What does a developing nation gain by navigating between giants? The answers are rarely simple, but the pursuit of them deepens our understanding of the world. The story isn't over. In international relations, the script is always being rewritten, and the most unlikely actors can steal the show. Stay curious. The next chapter is just beginning.